Dear friends, we're going to make chicken stock tonight, and I have a few things to say about it. I broke down two chickens for previous videos, and so I have the backbones of those, but not the rest of the bones. So I have two of those, and I'm going to use them. But just know that if you had served a whole chicken for dinner and the bones were left on your platter after carving, you would just bag them up similarly and use all the pieces. They don't have to come in like one piece like this. Same goes for the turkey and making turkey stock. You might have carved this huge bird, you've carved off all the meat, you saved it for the meat for leftovers, and then you have all these bones, you just throw them into a freezer bag like this, and you do the same, the method's the same. The anxiety, lots of, oh, and I want to say is, one other thing I want to say about it, making yourself, chicken stocks, and you don't really see turkey stock in the store very often. But chicken stock, low sodium chicken stock is relatively inexpensive to buy, but it's very satisfying to do it yourself because you know you're not wasting, considering how darn easy it is. And so we're going to show you how easy it is. And this is a method that requires no measuring. So I have one backbone of a chicken, and for that I would normally use 1 carrot, 1 celery stick, and half an onion. But I have 2, so I'm doing 2 carrots, 2. This is a mirepoix, by the way, but you don't need to know that. Anyway, so 2 celery sticks and a whole onion, and bay leaves, and black peppercorns, like you put in your grinder. That's it. So it can be frozen, doesn't matter, because you're gonna boil this and simmer it for a long time. So I'm going to put 2 in. I'm not going to save these plastic bags because that's raw chicken. And I want to show you that people are often concerned about the ratio of water to get the right consistency for stock. There is no more important ratio than just covering it with water. So I'm going to fill up my big, I'm doing it on camera, otherwise I just put that whole thing in the sink and fill it. But so use some cold water, and I'm just going to keep pouring it on until it covers the meat. So that was 4 cups that didn't cover the meat. So I'll just leave this down till it's 8 cups. So basically the rule of thumb is, and it's the only real important rule, is just cover the bones. I call them meat. There's really very little meat on there. The only real rule of thumb is you just use as much water as you have bones. So here, let me show you. So these are covered, and see they're just covered. Okay. So like I said, I'm doubling up the ingredients because I have 2 chickens in there. You do a coarse chop. None of this will be eaten. It will all be taken out in about 40 minutes after it's come to a boil. So you don't really even have to, I mean, you would clean the carrots by washing them, but you don't have to peel them. And you don't even have to cut them into nice pieces or anything, because no one's going to see. This is all part of the mirepoix, I would take the brown part off this, but you're going to strain it, so it doesn't really matter. And we'll cut these into, I don't know, 6 big chunks, onions, like that. I'm going to take that end off, put that in. There you have the basic ingredients. You add a handful, like half a teaspoon of black peppercorns. Turn this to high. It's going to take a little while to come to a boil because the meat is frozen, or the meat. I keep calling it meat. It's really just bones. It's really just the backbone. And then I'm going to use my dried bay leaves. Normally I put 3 per piece. So I'm going to add 6 or 7 there. They're all broken up, and I'm going to, that's pretty much all you need. Do not add salt. The whole point of making your own, oh, it already smells good. That's from the bay leaf. Even the dried ones smell really kind of grassy and farm-like. So I'm going to get this out and sort of mix it up, but you don't, the thing is, you don't really have to do anything. I'm going to put the lid on just to help it come to a boil, but after that, no lid. And in fact, you really don't want a lid because that defeats the purpose of concentrating the flavor. Okay, I just want to show you, it's come to a boil, and quite a high boil, so you bring it down to simmer, and you know, my stovetop's not very reactive, but the smell is great. You get the origin of that chicken stock aroma. So I just want to put it back on here at a simmer. Yeah, that's a pretty good simmer. Basically, I have it at between low and medium on my stovetop to get a simmer. And we're going to simmer that for 40 minutes. Now, I sometimes simmer it for an entire hour because I don't feel like I don't think that it's harmful at all to leave it for another 20 minutes to get the flavors concentrated. Because as you know, stock doesn't have a lot of flavor in itself like a soup would, but that's because you're using this as a base. And then everything you add to it contributes. And the same goes for sauces. So that's simmering very gently now. And I'm gonna put the timer on for 45 minutes to see. You can always tell by the ridge it leaves around the top how far it's gone down. And it might be 45 minutes to an hour, we'll see. Okay, so it's been 45 minutes or so, and you can hear you can hear it bubbling away. You can also see that the water has reduced for about an inch in the pot, and everything's sticking out. At this point, I want to turn it off, and I would like to mention that during this process, if there's any fat or scum coming from, you know, whatever you're boiling down, you would scoop it off with a ladle type spoon. But I don't have any in this case because I'm using just the backbones. And I know it's hot, but I want to show you what you need to do. Okay, so I have gorgeous Cuisinart pans, stock pot here, so the handles aren't hot. I just want to strain everything. Now there's still juice left there. And I'm going to, so basically that's nearly 4 cups. Let's get it all out. Let's get it all out. This would be 4 cups, I mean 8 cups. This 4 cups would be enough for us making soup. And 8 cups, a small soup. You can let it all come out. I'm happy that I didn't have to, I did not have to, there was no bubbling scum on top to take off. So we have a beautiful colored, beautiful aroma, and I'm just going to shake this out, and that goes in the garbage. This is still hot, so I have to put it somewhere. And now you have enough to make a really nice sized soup. But you often need to, and of course some spilled, I guess. That's to be expected. But sometimes you just need enough to make gravy. So I'm going to pour some of it into a smaller container to freeze. And I'm going to pour the rest if I had another small container. So basically I'm dividing it for my own purposes. If you wanted to make soup right away, use it right away. If you want to use soup late, make soup later. I would probably pour all of it into this single container. So basically, let me get my cloth out. Maybe this isn't for, maybe this stock is for soup. So that's 2 quarts total. If I were to, just divide it how you want. I'm going to freeze it. That looks perfect. Beautiful color, beautiful aroma. And I also want to add that if my stock pot was more full of stock, more full of bones, like an entire turkey carcass, I would probably have cooked this for longer than 40 to 45 minutes, probably an hour, just to get the water down at least an inch reduced. Anyway, that's the finale of chicken stock. I'm gonna freeze it now.